Hello Year 6, this is your vocabulary lesson for Wednesday the 20th of January, or whenever you can do it. So our focus words are really quite interesting this week. I wonder, just looking at some of them, how many you could define yourselves without looking any of them up. And how many might you know in several contexts? So just have a think about that. So we've got ignite, zest, kindle, suppress, quell, subdue, satisfy, fulfill, zeal, inhibit, agitate, stimulate. So pause the video here and see how many you can define. And if you can, for example, define zest or kindle, can you define them in at least two different contexts? So again, we're back to playing with words. The other one I wonder if you could define in two ways is the word agitate. And I'll give you a little bit of a clue. The word agitate is sometimes used with a machine that you are likely to have at home. Have a think. Pause the video here. So I hope you managed to certainly define some of the words. When I talk to you on Thursday, or when I talk to you in school, depending on when you're looking at this, we'll have a look and see which words we can define and which are slightly more unusual. Looking at some of these words, I wonder what sort of literature you would actually find them in. The word zeal, for example, you might find in religious texts. So, starting at the beginning, because we really should start at the beginning, is ignite, to set light to an emotion or feeling, to set light to something. So you can ignite a fire or a bonfire. Zest, great enthusiasm and energy. If I said to you, you can also use the word zest with fruit, I wonder if you could answer that question. Only certain fruit, and they would be citrus fruit. See if you can work it out. Zeal, great enthusiasm to get something done and finished. Kindle, to excite or inspire, to bring an emotion alive, to become excited. There is another way of using kindle. I wonder if you can think what that is. I have one of those, and I wonder if you can work that out from that clue. Quell, to put an end to a rebellion, to silence, to push down a feeling. It's an interesting word, not often used, I would say, nowadays. So what sort of literature would you find the word quell in? Subdue, to overcome or to quieten something. Someone, I beg your pardon, to bring someone under control. It's an interesting word, isn't it? How would you bring somebody under control? Would you bring someone? Would you bring an animal? Interesting. I wonder if you could explain that word. And we've got suppress, to use force to put an end to something, to prevent something happening, to stop information spreading. Now, interestingly, in our PHSE lesson, which when you're looking at this will have been last week's lesson, I was going to ask you the difference between fake news and real news. And I wonder if sometimes the real news is suppressed. Have a think. Fulfill, to have your needs met, to feel satisfied. To satisfy, to meet other people's needs or expectations, to give enough proof or information to be convincing. How much work have you turned in? Will it satisfy me? is the amount of good quality. Have a think. Agitate, to stir up people's feelings, to make someone feel anxious or troubled. Now that's a word that you could use in parts of Romeo and Juliet. But as I said previously, it has another meaning. I wonder if you've worked out the machine that I was referring to. To agitate in a washing machine means to move the clothes. Have a think. Stimulate, to encourage people to be interested in something, to get people involved. And inhibit, to stop something developing, to prevent someone from doing something. So really interesting words this week. See if you can put each word into a sentence. And when I've learned how to do it, I will put a document on the stream and you can upload or turn in 3 of your sentences for me. So your Shakespearean challenge this week is, can you write in the style of Shakespeare a sentence about the prince using either the word subdue or quell, a sentence about Tybalt using the word agitate, and a sentence about Juliet using the word kindle. And when I've worked out how to do it, I will put a document for you on Google Classroom, and then you can turn that in so I can see it. See you next week. Bye for now.